is Sky Sports 1.
Sky's Premier Sports coverage is presented in association with Ford. Sky Sports with Ford takes you to the heart of the action. Sunderland versus Middlesbrough.
Sunderland's gritty boss doesn't give much away, so Middlesbrough have got their work cut out. They're coming off the back of a good hiding, but Brian Robson's got a World Cup ace up his sleeve.
Monday Night Football.
Less than 5 months ago, he cracked a goal in the European Cup final. They said he was past his best after that, but Fabrizio Ravanelli has proved them all wrong and set the Premiership alight. The Monday Night Football comes from one of the most famous football venues in the country. Roker Park tonight, live from the FA Carling Premiership. It's the North East derby between Sunderland and Middlesbrough. And there's a rare old battle going on in the North East for supremacy right now. It's not easy for Peter Reid competing with the other two, who seem to have endless amounts of money. But one thing's for sure, any Peter Reid team will compete. Is that fair, Andy?
Yes, I think if the one thing you can guarantee you're going to get from Peter Reid's team, it'll be commitment and determination, and they certainly not give in. 1-0, 2-0 down, you can bet your life that Peter Reid's team will continue to play and continue to graft and work hard for their manager.
The latest big event on the PGA Tour starts this Thursday on Sky Sports 3 at 9 o'clock. It's the Walt Disney World Classic, Thursday at 9 on Sky Sports 3. The Monday Night Football comes from Roker Park. It's Sunderland against Middlesbrough. 7-4, Sunderland to win it. 5-4, Middlesbrough. 11-5, the draw. Ravanelli back from World Cup duty with Italy. 4-1 for first goal, 6 in the Premiership so far, 10 in all, but he hasn't scored away from the Riverside. Paul Stewart there, yet to score this season. Barnby, 7-1, like Stewart. Juninho, 8-1. Gray, 12-1. And amongst the outsiders, Paul Bracewell, whose last goal for Sunderland was in his second spell with the club back in April 1990. 33-1. It's not the best strike rate, is it?
No, you should be 133-1 brace, so not a goal scorer.
Sunderland share the best defensive record in the league with Manchester United, so what are they doing right?
Well, let's go down. Let's go down to the table, because I think what we've got, what they are is disciplined and organised. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So let's see what they face tonight. I've already put how I think Middlesbrough will play. They've got that three and the two wing-backs. I think Musto and Emerson, Bambi, Juninho, and, of course, Ravanelli. Peter Reid tonight is going to go in with a 4, and it will be a 4. Don't make any bones about that in the midfield. They're going to go in with 3 tight in midfield, Richard. They're going to go with 2 wingers, and they're going to go with Paul Stewart up front in the zone. The one thing they'll be is very organised. This back 4, you won't hardly ever see it like that. They'll be tucked back in, they'll come up and down as a unit, they'll drop back in as a unit, they'll be supported by these, dropping back in, and they will also be supported by these. So, as the night goes on, and if they have to defend, Richard, they will almost be 4-5. And what they will have to do, the biggest thing for the back 4 to deal with will be runners. Will be Bambi and Juninho. But I don't expect to see this happen, for players to go in there like that. He likes his team to be solid and organised, Peter Reid. He will say to him, I think, OK, you have to be aware of these runners. Emerson even coming in. But you have to be aware, and as they make their runs, you have to pick them up. But don't allow big gaps to appear along the back 4, otherwise they'll get picked off. And that's the way they'll do that, ably supported by these 3. Big job for 2 people tonight, the 2 linemen, Agnew and Michael Gray. If they can, and this is a good tip, watch for it, if they can push these 2 back like that and create a 5 against 3, I think then they will look to get this over. And Alex Rae, who I think will be given licence to go forward and get up and in contact with him. But as soon as they lose it, Richard, watch, they'll drop off those three, Ray will get back in, Bracewell and Ball will get back in, Agnew and Gray will get back in, and they'll be tight, and they'll be compact, and they'll say, try and feed your way through.
Just briefly here, it's a flat-back four. Manchester United play with a flat-back four.
Yeah.
Two teams with the best defensive records in the league. Anything in that?
Yeah, they're organised. I'm much a lover of the flat-back four. It's a great system if you organise it properly. It needs work in the training ground, Richard, and you have to put it in. But organised rightly, I think it's the best system. And is it a coincidence that both Sunderland and Manchester United have got the best records?
Interesting, isn't it?
They work hard. It's got to be worked at very hard, the flat-back four. But organised properly and disciplined right, it's as good as any defensive unit you can get.
It's a special night, this, for Sunderland, particularly their supporters, because it's the last North Eastern derby ever at Roker Park. The first, the ground, incidentally, officially opened on September the 10th, 1898, by the Marquess of Londonderry, before a game against Liverpool. There's been some famous names and games played there down the years as well. Look at that crowd. The record attendance, 75,118 against Derby County. It was an FA Cup 6th round replay in March 1933. Nowadays, it's 23,500. One of the reasons that Sunderland are going at the end of the season. The likes of Jim Montgomery, Brian Pop Robson, Raish Carter, Brian Clough, Charlie Buchan, Ian Porterfield have all graced the Roker turf. Len Shackleton there as well. And tonight, we are part of a little piece of history. That's Roker now, where this evening Sunderland play Middlesbrough. And our match commentator is waiting to talk to us. Two players, well, one player.
And tonight, the Roker Roar is at full volume. It's Sunderland against Middlesbrough. The whole match coming up live. Don't miss this. It promises to be something special.
Monday Night Football.
And our match commentators at Roker Park, Trevor Francis and Alan Parry.
Well, Roker Park has been Sunderland's home for 98 years now, and historically, it's never been a lucky ground for Middlesbrough. They're visitors from just down the northeast coast. Graham Poll from Hertfordshire referees this 55th meeting here of the two clubs, and Borough, as you may have heard earlier in the programme, have won just 7. Sunderland 15th in the table at the start of play, 9 points from their 8 games, but if they win tonight, they could actually move up as many as 7 places to 8th in the table. They've only managed 1 win in their last 6 games before tonight and scored just 2 goals in that period. A lot depends on Paul Stewart tonight, and he might not have been here at all if another referee, Paul Danson, hadn't admitted his mistake in sending him off at Highbury. That was 16 days ago now, and a lot of the players on both teams have had one of their longest breaks ever in a season, I would think. But, of course, there are a fair number of internationals out there as well who haven't been so fortunate. Middlesbrough, incidentally, had a 1-week tour of Thailand during the break and beat the Thai national team, amongst others. There's the Roker Roar in full throat, as Sunderland prepare to play Middlesbrough in a league fixture for the last time ever at Roker Park. Everyone ready, it seems, bar the referee. And now it's Middlesbrough in their change strip of white shirts and blue shorts who get the game underway. And the highlights, without question, this goal from the Brazilian Emerson. Never mind the deflection, feel the power. And then Sunderland came level again. Was that a foul by Whelan? He couldn't believe it. He didn't believe it. Alex Ray took the penalty away, and that gave Sunderland a 1-1 scoreline, which is the least they deserve in an excellent first half here at Roker Park. We'll be back with our assessment of Sunderland against Middlesbrough.
Coming up on Friday from Sky Sports, the first rugby league test between New Zealand and Great Britain. 7:15 in the morning on Friday, the first of 3 tests between the two teams. Highlights again at 7 in the evening. Right now, it's Roker Park, Sunderland against Middlesbrough, half-time. And it's 1-1. Emerson giving Middlesbrough the lead. Alex Ray with a penalty equalising. Goal attempts, few and far between. 8 in total, that's all. 2 each on target. Just 3 corners so far. Statistics belie the sort of game it's been. It's been very enjoyable. 3 booked from Middlesbrough. Miller, Whelan and Mustoe. Action areas. Dominated by Sunderland. Possession and dominated by Sunderland. But it is 1-1 at half-time. With Speedway at the weekend, the British Riders' Championship from Bradford, Saturday at 6 on Sky Sports 2. The top riders from the top British clubs head-to-head. Right now, Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 1 at Roker Park.
Middlesbrough 10th in the table at the start of play. If they win tonight, they could go up 3 places to 7th. Their away form has been disappointing this season. Just 1 away win at Everton. They drew at Forest and were beaten at Chelsea and Southampton. Indeed, they've only won 4 of their last 23 away games in the Premiership. Sunderland get the second half underway then. Sunderland in the stripes, as though you needed to be told. And at that stage, it looked as though Sunderland were in deep trouble. The situation got even worse when they had a player, and a key man at that, Richard Ord, sent off. But they wouldn't lie down, and this marvellous run by Kevin Ball laid it on for Craig Russell to slide home the equalising goal. They thoroughly deserved the point. A match played with typical Derby fervour and passion. A lot of bookings and 1 red card, but a hugely enjoyable match. And it ended here at Roker Park. Sunderland 2, Middlesbrough 2.
First Monday night football draw of the season, 2-2. Settled for that, though, wouldn't it? 4 goals every week. Only, what, 8 attempts in total at half-time. Better in the second half. 5 each on target. 11 corners at the end of all that. Fair number of bookings. 4 from Middlesbrough. Miller, Whelan, Mustoe and Cox. Bracewell from Sunderland, and Richard Ord, of course, sent off for the 2nd time this season. Action areas. Sunderland had the better of it first half. Possession, look, 54%, Andy, over that 90 minutes for them as well.
No, they've done well.
Ball in play nearly 70 minutes. That's a lot.
That's good.
From over 93. Man of the match, then. What do you think?
Well, I know who I'd give it to out of those. Yeah.
That's the answer, I think.
Bracewell won't be beaten, I don't think. No.
Kevin Ball did well too, there.
I thought Kevin Ball was excellent as skipper, yeah. Yeah, it reminded me in the second, when certainly went down to 10 men, son, very much of the game we did at St James's between Newcastle and Villa. On exactly the same thing I said about Newcastle. When you've got the man in front, you have to dictate the play. You dominate it, you put passes together. And very much the same way, when they went down to 10 men, Middlesbrough didn't do that tonight. They still, whether they were caught up in the atmosphere of a local derby, and sometimes you can be, and it's difficult then to suddenly backpedal, take your foot off the gas. But I know exactly what Brian was saying. He's absolutely right. To pass the ball about the back, to come across the back again, they're away from home, 2-1 up. Why should it matter?
Make them run. They were 2-1 up, of course.
Yeah.
Ravanelli eventually found the target.
From the corners, we'd said all night, you and I were saying, they don't look comfortable, Sunderland, when they're defending a corner. To be fair, it took Middlesbrough to, I think they didn't think they had a corner in the first half.
No.
Took them into the second half. These are the first 2 corners they had. And they almost conceded from the first one, Richard. It's just a mass of bodies in there. And to be fair to Middlesbrough, they get players in and attacking it. And you can look at the trouble that Sunderland have got trying to clear that. And eventually it's a really good save from Tony Coton. But right away, the ball comes back in, and the same thing. They're scrambling, they're all over the place, they can't control it. Well, and he doesn't just miss them.
And no argument at all about the sending off?
No, I don't think so. I think the referee sees what we're about to see. It's an easy decision for him. And there's only one. You step over him like that, but then there's the stamp on the left arm. Nicky Bambi, yeah, is incensed by it. The left foot onto the left arm. Had the referee been the other side, Richard, he might well have got away with it. But obviously the referee's got a good position and he spots it.
So then they're down to 10 men, battling, but find the equaliser for all that.
What a great equaliser. I have to say, goal of the night. Without doubt, it was a smashing goal. Kevin Ball, the captain. well, he deserves a huge lot of credit for that. And it starts way back here with throwing. They go back into their own half. Now, just highlighted ball here. Now, just watch his contribution. First and foremost, he goes and helps his centre-back. And it's a super build-up. Peter Reid talked about how he was pleased about the way his team passed the ball. Now, look at Paul Stewart. He's doing his bit here. He's trying to get an angle to give him something. Go on, hit me. He's going, play me on. I'm there. And then what you want when the ball's coming up to you as a front man, you want someone to be running off you. Now, watch the run coming across here. There he goes. Michael Gray. And he's almost through himself. But look at Ball. Watch him. Is he giving it up? He's not giving that up. 1 tackle, 2 tackles. Now he drives up Neil Cox. And from here, well, this is impossible for Vickers. Look at Steve Vickers here. If he goes for that, he knows he's got a chance of scoring an own goal. It's literally impossible for him to defend that. So he leaves it. Whelan's no position to get it. And what a cool finish that was from
Peter Rundlove as well.
That was harder than Peter Rundlove's, I have to say.
Right, coming up from Sky Sports, the Sky Sports Centre, including a major interview with Mark Bosnich. That's the Sky Sports Centre. Next, followed at 10:45 by Tartan Extra. Ready feet for Rangers this weekend, and Celtic have closed the gap. Friday night football this weekend. Oxford against Birmingham from the Manor Ground, 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. On Sunday lunchtime, it's Prenton Park for Tranmere against Queen's Park Rangers. That's on 3. And how about this? The leaders, Newcastle United, against the champions, Manchester United, St James's Park, 3 o'clock this coming Sunday on Sky Sports 1. Great night again. Thoroughly enjoyable. From Andy and me, it's good night.